Do you find yourself feeling overpowered by the never-ending stream of ideas in your mind? Not alone in this experience in the fast-paced, laser-focused world of today. Thought may appear to be a rare superpower, but there is optimism that a treasure map for navigating through the mental fog and unlocking inner peace was revealed by ancient Stoic masters of the mind. This movie, Clarity, examines 11 potent Stoic lessons that can change your thinking and result in a more satisfying existence. This is not merely a theoretical idea philosophy, but a collection of useful instruments you can employ to increase your mental. To remain up to date, hit the notification bell and subscribe now for clarity and calm. As we go further into each life-changing lesson, watch each video and join our learning community, and leave a comment with your thoughts and experiences. Below, we may help and motivate one another to think more clearly. 1. Accept skepticism and challenge presumptions. First lesson, be open to doubt and challenge presumptions. The Stoics had a wise view of the human condition. They held that real wisdom comes from appreciating the scope of what I realize that this would seem paradoxical. However, Seneca made the argument that when we maintain presumptions without challenging them, anticipation can prevent us from acting. Create mental obstacles that hinder our ability to see clearly and react appropriately. So what can we do to overcome them? Liberated from these self-imposed constraints and develop the lucid thinking that the Stoics promoted as the solution. In order to embrace uncertainty and challenge our presumptions, we must first, our brains automatically make snap decisions based on a limited amount of information in order to dissect our inner ideas. Information and deep-rooted prejudices. These first ideas may seem intuitive, but they may have errors, so we can test them by considering what does this idea have evidence to support it, or are there other viewpoints that I still must think about, whether my prejudices are affecting how I interpret. By actively challenging our first ideas, we can weaken the cognitive biases that impair our judgment and mislead us. Second, we ought to look for opposing viewpoints, because often echo chambers are created when we surround ourselves with like-minded individuals. Strengthening our prejudices in order to increase our awareness of the world and reveal blind areas in our thinking. Thus, we need consciously look for a variety of ideas that contradict one another, challenge arguments, and are unfamiliar. Thirdly, instead, we need to embrace the power of what-if questions. Instead of taking things at face value, we ought to consider other possibilities. Think about unforeseen implications and question the current state of affairs. Agility enables us to foresee issues and make better decisions. Fourth, we can exercise devil's advocacy by recognizing possible weaknesses in our NS and arguments against our ideas and opinions. This self-examination was motivated by exposing logical flaws and strengthening our arguments. The Stoic discipline of negative visualization ultimately helps us should take pleasure in intellectual modesty. Genuine wisdom is found in recognizing the boundaries of our knowledge and being willing to reconsider our positions in light of fresh information or philosophical viewpoints. Humility is the cornerstone of rational thought and lifelong learning. It's crucial to keep in mind that asking assumptions is not about encouraging self-doubt, but rather about giving ourselves the ability to. Applying these Stoic principles will help you think critically and make well-reasoned decisions. Principles. We can open the door to a clearer, more intelligent mind that is prepared to set out to negotiate the intricacies of the world with grace and knowledge. Intellectual discovery voyage. Ask brave questions and uncover the real second. Define your ideals and objectives and consider the possibilities of our thinking. 2. Establish your goals and values. Without any equipment to assist you, traversing a vast ocean would leave you vulnerable to the whims of the shifting winds and currents. without knowing your destination or how to get there. Yet if you had a reliable compass to guide you, it is essential to have clear values and objectives, since they will enable you to move forward purposefully, even in the most trying circumstances. By offering, they serve as a map and compass for direction and a well-defined destination. Assist you in navigating life's unpredictable tides. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, began that the Stoics were renowned for emphasizing introspection and living with a purpose. He understood the need of self-reflection and mission clarity in navigating. Using life's challenges to forge your own course must begin with a journey of self-discovery and adhere to specific rules. First, you must thoroughly examine your values and decide what matters most to you. This could be sincerity, generosity, creativity, or something else entirely. Complete in order to determine your guiding ideals despite challenges. Reflect on your past experiences, emotions, and objectives will help you create a basis for your decision-making process that is consistent with your core values. Knowing your values will help you convert them into particular. Both short-term and long-term stepping-stone objectives should be considered in ambitions and objectives. Think about the important contributions you want to make to the world, the knowledge and abilities you want to attain, and the experiences you want to have. Establishing clear objectives will be beneficial. You accomplish these goals with direction and motivation, guaranteeing that your it is crucial, that your goals and core beliefs align, not the whims of the moment or other factors. Think about if your goals align with your basic values after you've established that reaching your objectives would increase your sense of purpose and fulfillment, and you're ready to face challenges. And to get there, you must accept flexibility and make concessions. Because life is a journey with no end in sight, be prepared to adjust your goals as you learn new things, run into unforeseen challenges, and adapting to shifting values may necessitate a change in direction. Skill and willingness to adapt while upholding your core beliefs when goals and values coincide. Consult Marcus Aurelius's works to find inspiration from the Stoics, Epictetus and Seneca for guidance on self-reflection and leading a purposeful existence, and conquering life's challenges with persistent self-reflection, and objectively defining your values and objectives are ongoing processes. Process as opposed to a singular event. Set sail with assurance, being aware that your values and goals serve as a compass that directs you toward a meaningful existence. And goal, using the Stoics' wisdom as a guide and adjusting to change. You can map out a path to a genuine and significant journey. Lesson number 3. Watch out for cognitive biases. 3. Pay attention to cognitive biases. Just as the Stoics were cautious, our minds can also mislead us, since they are not always reliable guides. Taking into account their assessments, we need to be conscious of these prejudices and take proactive measures to mitigate their effects. Cognitive biases are deviations from. The following are some typical biases and logical fallacies that might cause mistakes and distortions in our judgment. Ways to deal with them. Picture traversing a thick forest with a broken compass at every turn. Turns into a danger that leads you farther into the unknown. This cognitive bias is referred to as region confirmation bias. Everyone is impacted by confirmation bias, which can make it challenging to have an open mind because it creates a self-reinforcing circle that obscures the truth and makes it hard to perceive the big picture. Have you ever observed that we frequently ignore everything that contradicts our viewpoint and just consider data that confirms it? Demonstrates how to actively seek out differing viewpoints and overcome prejudice, and examine articles produced from a variety of perspectives to challenge your assumptions, have polite conversations, and consider other viewpoints, because we often overestimate the likelihood of events due to availability bias. Bet on situations that are readily available, such as even if flying is generally safe, but you can grow scared of it after witnessing an airplane crash on the information on overcoming prejudice that doesn't only rely on vivid. When making decisions, consider data and facts gathered from comprehensive sources rather than anecdotes. Knowledge and consider the wider context before passing judgment. When we encounter anchoring bias, we take the first piece of information we encounter and use it as a basis for subsequent evaluations. For example, an early discount could result in a pay attention to starts in order to make a product look more precious than it truly is. And first suggestions before making a decision, collect as much data as you can and objectively assess the price, features and benefits of the bandwagon effect leads us to adopt behaviors or opinions because other people do. Regardless of its intrinsic value, this could lead to us following trends, or even when it goes against what we personally believe. Groupthink can help us overcome group prejudice is the practice of favoring members of our group, such as family, friends, and choosing co-workers above outsiders, especially when it is not justified, is crucial. Keep in mind that discriminatory or prejudiced decisions can be made, and this can result in unjust treatment. Before blindly following the crowd, your personal principles and the proof that you can overcome prejudice, acknowledge the strength that your group memberships may have taken into account individuals' merits and behavior, rather than their affiliation with a particular organization. Remember that admitting these biases is just the beginning. Epictetus and other Stoics emphasized that every one of us is responsible for our own choices. They actively look at biases by searching for alternative perspectives, using critical thinking skills, and objectively evaluating the facts. By doing this, we cultivate clear, objective thinking that empowers us to create prudent decisions and handle life's obstacles with greater knowledge and comprehension. Therefore, we set out. On your journey to self-awareness and mental clarity, arm yourself with consciousness of cognitive biases and, similar to a skilled navigator fixing a find your way to a better informed future with a malfunctioning compass. Discerning lesson number 4. Collect evidence and look for different viewpoints. 4. Collect proof and look for different viewpoints. Imagine choosing a stance on a complicated issue after reading just one news article or conversing with someone who agrees with your viewpoints is comparable to simply using one hue to create a masterpiece may prevent you from seeing the whole truth, even though you may be able to see some of it. Whole picture. Why is it so important to look for alternative viewpoints? The Stoics, those who valued logic and reason, recognized the need of considering other viewpoints, and we ought to do the similarly. In today's world, our brains tend to disregard evidence in favor of data that supports our thoughts and encourages us to look for short-com artists' echo chambers. Instead of challenging our beliefs, Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher, said that we are more troubled by our beliefs than by the experience oneself in relation to it, by aggressively seeking out various answers or opposing perspectives. On any given subject, we can increase our understanding and become more educated, and become conscious of nuances and intricacies that we might not have otherwise observed when we expose ourselves to a variety of viewpoints and acknowledge our biases. Taking into account several points of view allows us to recognize our prejudices and assumptions. By being self-aware, we can decrease the influence of our unconscious prejudices and evaluate our ideas more critically, strengthening the foundation of our beliefs when we make judgments based on a careful examination of the information at hand. And viewpoints, our beliefs are more solid, and polite conversation allows us to strengthen our positions, identify potential weak points, and develop intellectual fortitude. But how can we actively seek for other opinions? These practical steps, reputable sources, and search for a variety of news sources, academic publications, and expert opinions that represent a variety of methods and viewpoints. Be mindful of confirmation bias and search for information that challenges your presumptions. Have courteous discussions. Don't be scared to have discussions with people who have different opinions. Try to understand what they're saying, even if you disagree with their questions. And keep in mind that courteous discourse is about development and understanding amongst people instead of victory. Embrace a range of media and watch podcasts, books, and movies that offer unique perspectives on a variety of numerous topics to broaden your viewpoint on the world and question your assumptions. Stepping outside of your comfort zone and immersing yourself in different cultures and experiences zone and social media communities to challenge your echo chamber. Seek out communities that hold contrasting views and engage in fruitful dialogue with them, keeping in mind that intellectual growth often occurs outside of the GNAC. Requiring proof and looking at several opinions does not mean that you are abandoning your beliefs. Rather, it strengthens your understanding. Keep in mind the Stoic philosopher Seneca's teachings as you embark. Acknowledging the intricacy of the universe and developing. Regardless of how severe it may appear, intellectual humility will never damage you. Embrace the challenge, have an open mind, and satiate your need to learn. More, you'll broaden your perspectives and weave a web of comprehension that represents the diversity and complexity of reality, which will aid in the development of more wisdom and clear thinking. And wisdom as you navigate the obstacles of life. Lesson number 5. Slow down. 5. Take a moment to relax and think, and consider that while it's simple to feel hurried in our fast-paced environment, haste can be hazardous on a perilous mountain pass, can have catastrophic effects on our day-to-day existence. Stoics who are adept at exercising restraint and deliberate conduct understand the tremendous importance of taking your time and thinking on the well-known Stoic picture of going through a treacherous mountain pass at night where each step needs to be measured and purposeful, and founded on careful examination of Emperor Marcus Aurelius of the contemporary era. Don't waste time discussing what a decent guy should be, says the famous quoter B1, could be seen as a reminder to act consciously rather than getting caught up in debates. Why is it important to stop, think, and collect your ideas? Because we usually react hurriedly to the daily commotion by relying on automated and impulsive responses that could lead to rash choices and missed opportunities. Considering unanticipated consequences, we can accomplish several benefits by incorporating careful reflection into our decision-making procedure. A deeper understanding of the situation before making rash conclusions could prevent us from fully comprehending the context, acquiring the necessary information, and considering every option. By taking a moment to consider how we can look at the subject from several angles, acknowledge any possible intricacy, and better understanding of the issue and less influence from emotional decisions made at this moment, driven by strong emotions, could be inaccurate and skewed. Slowing down allows us to remove ourselves from the emotionally charged subject at hand and evaluate it in a more calmly and rationally recognizing potential consequences. When we rush things, we often lose sight of the wider picture, which makes it difficult to anticipate possible outcomes, predict unanticipated events, and make consistent decisions. With our values and long-term goals, the creation of self-awareness. By pausing and reflecting, we can discover valuable insights about our own thought processes, emotional triggers and biases, but how can we incorporate this practice into everyday? Here are some achievable actions that our self-awareness enables us to take in our hectic lives, by our genuine selves and values guiding us in making choices that are consistent with our inner selves. Schedule a time for introspection and set up a certain time each day, even if it's just 10 minutes, to think about this. spend some time sitting quietly, writing in a notebook, or practicing meditation, and review your thoughts and experiences prior to selecting position guidance. Take a moment to think about the following questions. Did I think about all of my alternatives and the potential consequences of selecting one over the others? Does this choice align with my values and goals? Seek out external perspectives, discuss your ideas and concerns with trustworthy friends, mentors, or specialists. Their insights can give constructive feedback and broaden your. By using viewpoint practice, we can cultivate a conscientious approach to decision-making by mindfulness exercises like deep breathing or living in the present. This helps us to stop acting on impulses and make more thoughtful choices. Keep in mind that taking some time to reflect and slow down does not mean being unsure or putting things off. On the contrary, it encourages. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, reportedly stated that the greatest method to handle fury is to put things off and enjoy the pause. By using these techniques into your life, you'll have the knowledge and poise to deal with the complexity of the world more clearly and purpose. Give it some thought and see how your choice affects. Making enhances lesson number 6. Accept reason and logic as its 6. Adopt reason and logic. Without a compass, it could be challenging to sail a turbulent sea, thus making decisions only based on our feelings can. Since reason serves to disentangle emotions from judgment, it can occasionally mislead us. The Stoics, who advocated reason and logic, understood this risk and believed that it was necessary to have clear thinking, which is why it is so important. To accept reasoning and reason, lucid rationale. While feelings can provide richness to our experiences, they can also impair our judgment and lead to rash decisions and misguided conclusions. With biased opinions, there are several benefits to using reason and logic in our thinking. I've identified emotion-based biases. Emotions often trigger unconscious biases that impact our. Without being aware of it, we could be able to identify and surpass these emotional reasoning, and reason combined with biases might skew our objective assessment. Considering the evidence that leads us to choose information that validates our beliefs, we can objectively assess the data, considers all pertinent viewpoints, and makes decisions based on the facts, since reason and logic may identify logical errors. Emotions can make it hard for us to recognize bad thought patterns, and logic enable us to identify logical fallacies and provide protection, preventing us from being misled by flimsy arguments and allowing us to make deliberate decisions. When emotions are in charge, people often become impulsive and blind. Emotions are crucial information that explain our beliefs, wants, and desires, while accepting reason and logic does not imply utter disregard for them. Rather, it means utilizing them to our advantage. Step back, think over our alternatives, and choose a path of action that aligns with our beliefs and long-term objectives. The key is to recognize them while avoiding the wish to allow his feelings to guide our choices. Here are some practical steps to promote this balance. What triggers your emotions? Think about situations that make you feel strongly and be aware of these triggers. Enables you to foresee their effects and respond with greater vigor. Give your intense feelings names and acknowledge them. This simple gesture can help you get rid of them, removing yourself from your feelings to allow for more selective observation and search for other perspectives. Discuss your thoughts and emotions with people you can rely on. Put aside your emotional biases and offer objective criticism. Give yourself time while making decisions in emotionally delicate situations. To relax by fighting the need to react immediately when making a decision, collect data, apply logic and reason, and keep in mind that repressing feelings is not the same as adopting reason and logic. Rather, it entails cultivating a relationship that is healthy and in which feelings are there, but do not control your thoughts in order to employ. When you use your emotional map and reason's compass, you may make more deliberate, thoughtful decisions and deal with life's challenges more effectively, like Epictetus the Stoic. A philosopher once stated that it's not the incident itself that concerns us, but make informed decisions regarding your viewpoints based on our assessment of it. Reason and reasoning, and go on a journey that will result in a fulfilling and joyful life. Lesson 7 for the future. Watch out for emotional hijacking. Have you ever 7? Watch out for emotional abuse. Encountered an unexpected storm while sailing a ship, with waves crashing, wind howling, and when vision decreases, a storm might swiftly approach if you are not ready, over-tossing your boat about and leaving you vulnerable to the weather in a similar way when our feelings are strong. When unchecked, they can control our thoughts and cause us to act impulsively. The Stoics were adept at exercising self-control over their choices and poor assessments, lucid reasoning, and were fully conscious of this risk. They thought that our emotional tyrant could momentarily cause us to act in ways we may later come to regret, because they are emotional. Taking over such a threat to rational thought, the amygdala activates our brain's alarm system when our emotions are high, overturning the prefrontal cortex, which is the core of logic and reason. The purpose of the primal response is to ensure our immediate survival, but it can also cause problems in our daily lives. When making decisions, our feelings can impair our cognition, making us more likely to. We may make snap decisions that we later come to regret, or we may say harmful words. In anger can lead to destructive behaviors or hasty financial decisions. Relationships with skewed interpretations. Our feelings might influence how we see the world, causing us to. We may overreact to small setbacks, personalize neutral remarks, or perceive things as worse or better than they actually are. Make snap judgments without supporting data, which leads to mismanaged conflict. Emotions have the power to intensify conflicts, resulting in disagreements, miscommunications, and strained relationships. When someone is hurt, they may become defensive or stop talking to you completely. So how can? By practicing Stoicism, we can reclaim our reasoning and avoid emotional hijacking. Mindfulness, with their focus on self-awareness and emotional control, provides some useful tools. With regular mindfulness meditation practice, we can cultivate the capacity to acknowledge our feelings as they arise by using this awareness to watch our feelings without passing judgment and deciding how to react, which makes room between the input and our response, enabling us to guide with composure and focus during deep breathing. While overwhelmed, just taking deep, calm breaths can help activate the parasympathetic nervous system, can lessen fighting and encourage calm. People have reported that the ORF flight response procedure helps them relax and reduce anxiety, which calms our bodies and minds and makes it possible to think more logically. Thinking and a feeling of tranquility, we can restructure our cognitive, confront unfavorable thought patterns that generate strong emotional responses. We can question ourselves, believed to be true. Are there opposing viewpoints? And what proof is there for this? We can reduce the strength of our emotions by changing the way we think. Take a step back and leave the situation if we sense our emotions taking over. Circumstance, either psychologically or physically, we can go for a walk, listen to relaxing, or take part in a soothing activity that allows our emotions to lessen and make it possible to think more clearly when we return. Recall emotional. Although hijacking is a normal human reaction and not a sign of weakness, by being aware of the dangers and armed with these resources, we can recover ability to regulate our feelings and develop rational thought even when life is chaotic, because as the Stoic emperor Marcus Aurelius reminds us, life's purpose is not to be on the side of the majority, but by controlling our emotions, we may remain loyal to our principles and be on the side of truth. Make wise choices and live a more purposeful and clear life. So let's take charge of our ships and navigate emotional turbulence with grace and direct our thoughts toward a more optimistic and satisfying journey. Lesson 8. Engage in active listening. Practice active listening. Number 8. No matter how skilled you are, you can't figure out a jigsaw that has missing pieces because you need to understand the whole image. Various viewpoints are crucial for negotiating the difficulties of life, and active listening is the key to assembling these crucial puzzle parts. A decent guy must be able to defend his own beliefs without harboring animosity against Epictetus, claims that those who disagree with him are their esteemed philosophers, who was likewise associated with the Stoic movement and renowned for stressing unambiguous open communication and critical thinking that highlight the importance of attentively listening to fully comprehend other people's viewpoints as well as to support our own arguments for why lucid needs active listening. Using reasoning, we commonly make the mistake of passively listening in today's fast-paced setting. Hearing words without understanding their underlying meaning might lead to miscommunications, lost educational opportunities, and even unnecessary dispute. But active listening involves more than simply hearing. It also involves creating an intentional attempt to maintain focus on the speaker and avoid distractions. Focus your gaze on the speaker and give them your undivided attention while closely observing their tone of speech and body language to try to understand even if you don't agree with the speaker's viewpoint, emotions and experiences, promotes honest dialogue and results in a better understanding of the circumstance. Ask clarifying questions to avoid interrupting the speaker by avoiding the temptation to share your ideas or beliefs, and instead allowing them to completely express themselves without disrupting the discussion by asking. Asking questions demonstrates your interest in what they are saying and motivates them to go into further detail, which improves your understanding. Comprehension of their viewpoint. Reflect and summarize after hearing. After giving what you've heard some thought, briefly restate the speaker's crucial elements to demonstrate your understanding and to encourage further conversation by putting these into practice. Active listening strategies provide a number of benefits, including enhanced understanding. Gain a deeper appreciation for diverse viewpoints, expanding your knowledge and facing your prejudices. Reduce conflict by truly understanding other people's perspectives. You can handle disagreements with tact and compassion, promoting more productive, increased interpersonal relationships through discourse and active listening. Enhance rapport and trust, strengthening bonds between people and creating a happier social context that considers various viewpoints can assist with addressing problems and assisting in a deeper understanding of complex situations, which can lead to more. As Marcus Aurelius, another Stoic philosopher, points out, effective solutions. Instead of being a skill, listening is a mentality that entails approaching dialogues with humility, curiosity, and a genuine desire to learn from others. Decide to actively listen, putting comprehension above debates, and you'll observe how your universe broadens with greater clarity, sensitivity, and links. Make use of your mental abilities to actively listen carefully and attempt to thoroughly comprehend each discussion in order to extract its valuable insights. Lesson number 9. Value clarity. 9. Appreciate precision and clarity and accuracy to handle life's complexities like a personal weapon that can. To overcome ambiguity, one needs to be able to think clearly and communicate accurately. Imagine navigating through a thick forest with a hazy map, where everything appears to be unclear, and Seneca, a Roman statesman and philosopher, reportedly remarked that the shortest in this situation highlights the chest way, which is to place the cards on the table. Significance of precision and clarity in speech and thought for the Stoics, who were renowned for emphasizing logic and reason, and they held this idea in high regard. Why are accuracy and clarity so important for lucid reasoning? Thinking and language assist us in avoiding ineffective miscommunication. Uncertain communication can lead to answers and a decline in credibility, result in miscommunication and missed opportunities for interaction. Others may need help understanding our intentions, which could lead to it is more challenging for us when we are irritated and conflicted. To identify the cause of problems and develop practical solutions rather than by tackling the underlying issue that leads to persistent difficulties, we may eventually just be able to control the symptoms. Using unclear language can undermine our authority and credibility. We can gain respect and increase our influence by speaking clearly and precisely. There are actions we can take to enhance our cognitive abilities and communicate by first explaining important terminology and concepts, then discussing second. By using straightforward language, we can simplify complicated. Thirdly, by providing specific examples, ideas can be broken down into more manageable pieces. For example, we could make our concepts more approachable. And fourthly, we might react to how others have responded to our communication by asking for their feedback and then providing clarification. Instead than feeling compelled to speak throughout every pause, ask inquiries at last. It's crucial that we pause before speaking to gather our thoughts. We can profit from accuracy and clarity in addition to enhanced critical thinking, better communication, increased credibility, and improved ability to solve problems and clear communication. Relationships foster comprehension and lay the foundation for successful collaboration in defining terms, breaking down concepts, and with specific examples force us to exercise greater critical thought and identify any possible ambiguities. When we express ourselves intelligibly and authoritatively, we project authority and confidence, which increases the impact of our concepts. By clearly outlining the problem and using language that we are also more adept at identifying the issue's origin and developing practical solutions. Keep in mind that accuracy and the cornerstones of both effective and clear thinking are clarity. By cultivating this communication habit, we may more effectively navigate the difficulties of life and help us and others understand the world we live in. When you change your perspective and embrace the power of plain language, you'll see an improvement in communication and understanding. In lesson number 10, Embrace 10, Accept Lifelong Learning. Ongoing education. Envision a woodcutter who must take down a large tree with compared to a sharp saw, a blunt saw makes the task more challenging and allows for faster advancement. Continuous learning enables the intellect to handle the challenges of life. The Stoics, who were renowned for their dedication to self-improvement, recognized this with clarity and agility. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, encouraged. He was stressing the value of lifelong learning by telling them to live as though they were going to live another 100 years. Learning and personal development. Why it's so important to embrace lifelong learning. Without exercise, our brains weaken like our muscles, making it difficult to think clearly. We become accustomed to routines and viewpoints that are familiar to us. Critical and creative thinking might deteriorate, yet lifelong learning serves as a powerful elixir with numerous advantages that broadens your understanding, depending on introducing yourself to novel concepts from various fields and demanding viewpoints. You question your preconceptions and increase your comprehension of the world. which enhances your thinking and improves your capacity to make connections between concepts that don't seem linked. Increasing cognitive agility by pushing your thinking with tasks like learning a new language through arguments or puzzle-solving benefits, you preserve mental clarity and adaptability. It fortifies your cognitive muscles, improving your capacity to. It can be difficult to evaluate data, spot trends, and reach reliable conclusions. Your prejudices. Everyone has both conscious and unconscious prejudices that might skew their believing that chances to address these biases are presented by ongoing learning. By challenging opposing ideas and practicing critical introspection, this promotes intellectual humility and gives you a more impartial perspective. A sluggish mind is fruitful, and the world is full with creative and sparkling curiosity. Grounds for intellectual stagnation and weariness. Ongoing education, on the other hand, stimulates creativity and curiosity as you investigate novel ideas. And push yourself. You'll uncover untapped talent and find creative answers to challenging issues. So how do you foster a passion for learning? And here are some doable methods to incorporate it into your everyday life. Embrace every day. Spend even little periods of time studying. Read articles on, listen to podcasts on a variety of subjects while driving, or enroll in online classes that follow your interests. Look for intellectual challenges and participate in a reading club. In thought-provoking discussions with friends and co-workers, or participate in online communities that promote critical making. Learning a communal experience by talking about new concepts with loved ones, friends, or online communities. Talking to people about your learning journey improves comprehension and fosters responsibility, and encourages even more in-depth EXP investigation. Go beyond explore your comfort zone in well-known fields by reading books written by authors who hold different opinions or going to talks. Straining your intellectual limits on subjects you don't know much about, which increases your viewpoint and tests your make assumptions. Engage in critical thinking activities and set aside time to actively examine news stories to find logical errors in arguments you come across or dissect your own mental processes. This intentional practice improves your ability to think critically. The goal of continuous learning is to develop a growth mentality rather than to acquire knowledge for its own sake. An unquenchable curiosity that drives you to embark on a lifetime of, as Seneca, another Stoic philosopher, sagely said, intellectual exploration. We learn for life. Accept this trip, hone your intellect, and observe your capacity for clear thinking will thrive in a world full of constantly changing possibilities and challenges. So go embark on this journey of everlasting learning and see how your thoughts change into a strong instrument for managing life's challenges with ever-growing lesson number 11 on wisdom and clarity. Take care of yourself. 11th, look after yourself. You're creating a prosperous life. The Stoics promoted self-control and a balanced lifestyle, recognized the need of good habits and self-care as the cornerstones of both rational thought and sincere. Epictetus, a famous philosopher, once stated that human beings are not bothered by occurrences, but rather via his perspective on them. This insight highlights the significance of self-care for the best possible mental health, because the body and mind are not distinct, but rather an intricately linked system. So when one part of it fails, the other is also persistent sleep disorders. Taking care of yourself can enhance your cognitive talents in a number of ways. Deprivation can result in impulsivity, poor emotional control, and making decisions can also affect cognitive function, making it harder to concentrate and retain information. And exercise critical thought, whereas bad eating habits might result in memory loss and mental dullness. Loss and cognitive fog, a nutritious, well-balanced diet that promotes brain function. Omega-3 fatty acids, for example, can improve cognitive function and active lifestyle choices that contribute to adequate blood flow to the brain, strengthening neuronal connections and enhances cognitive performance. But consistent exercise also aids in focus, memory, and general brain health, which results in an optimal setting for clear thinking. In order to establish a supportive setting for clear thinking, you must take practical actions, include setting a regular sleep pattern and giving priority to getting enough good sleep. Establish a calming evening routine and refrain from using technology for an hour before bed. Eating meals in their entirety can assist you in achieving the optimal degree of brain health and cognitive performance. Brain-stimulating nutrients include fruits, vegetables, complete grains, and lean protein can improve your overall health. Choose foods high in omega-3 fatty acids, such as walnuts, flax seeds, and fatty fish, to keep your cognitive function at its best. Performance. Take care of your body because it is your most precious asset. Consuming nutritious food and beverages to improve your mood and intelligence, leading an active lifestyle, and locating and it will be more enjoyable if you engage in an activity you enjoy, such as brisk walking, swimming, dancing, or team sports. Regular exercise will help you achieve your goals, so set aside 30 minutes each day for physical activity. Can increase blood flow and improve your brain's cognitive performance. Focus, which results in a more focused and lucid mind to effectively manage stress and improve mental clarity. It can help use relaxation methods such as yoga, deep breathing, or using awareness in meditation to understand your thoughts and sensations without passing judgment, which helps you spot negative thought patterns that could your thoughts and swap them out for more objective viewpoints without more ado. Spend less time discussing what a decent man ought to be and more time focusing on well-being, fosters physical and mental health, and assesses your ability to transparent thinking. By putting self-care and good behaviors first, an environment that fosters clear thinking, emotional fortitude, and a life full of more clearly defined goals and accomplishments. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic blossom, as advised by the emperor, will lead you to a completely fulfilling and significant. Nevertheless, keep in mind that applying these Stoic ideas is a procedure that requires ongoing effort as opposed to a one-time achievement. As you apply these lessons to your daily routine, you'll observe a change in consider an increase in your ability to confront obstacles head-on and a revitalized sense of mastery over your ideas and behavior. So start now, journey of transformation, develop your Stoic mindset, and unleash the full potential of your mental faculties.